Now, Bobby Shmurda pleaded guilty to 1 count of third-degree conspiracy and 1 count of weapons possession in September 2016, and he was sentenced to 7 years in prison. Ever since his conviction, Bobby has been relatively quiet. He hasn't released much music while he's in prison, and the question many people are asking is, will Bobby still be relevant after he comes back from prison? Now, back in the 80s and 90s, whenever a rapper went to jail, it was seen as a rite of passage or an opportunity to gain street credibility. In fact, going to jail meant that these rappers would have more anger and more topics to rap about when they got out of prison, and the public couldn't wait to hear more music from these rappers. But the truth is, these days, going to jail can have devastating financial, emotional, and artistic setbacks. Only a few artists are able to maintain relevance while in jail, and these are the artists that try to release music while incarcerated. Take Kevin Gates for example. Now, Kevin Gates spent 6 months in prison for assaulting a woman during a concert in 2015, and after completing that sentence, he received another 30 months stemming from a felony gun charge. However, while all of this was taking place, Kevin Gates was still able to release new music from the vault. In September 2017, Kevin Gates released By Any Means 2 thanks to the help of his team and his wife Drekka. And in my opinion, Kevin Gates is still relevant today because he's still able to drop music while he's in prison. Kevin has built a loyal following, and most of them will continue to purchase his music whenever he drops it. Now, Gucci Mane is another artist that made the drop music from prison formula work for him. In 2014, Gucci Mane was sentenced to 3 years in prison after pleading guilty to a federal firearms charge. During this time, he kept releasing music, and as soon as he got out of prison in May 2016, he linked up with notable artists like Drake and Migos on new singles and released his highly successful Everybody Looking album soon after, proving once again that most artists that go to prison need to be able to drop music from prison in order to stay relevant. Now let's talk about Bobby Shmurda for a second. Now, Bobby Shmurda's situation reminds me of Michael Lawrence Tyler, also known as Mystical. Now, Mystical went to prison at a time when his career was in a good place. He was dropping singles that were charting, he had a loyal fan base that supported him, and he was also getting movie roles. However, his time in prison changed all of this. When Mystical got out of prison in 2010, he had a moderate buzz. A lot of people were excited to hear what Mystical had to offer. He signed with Cash Money Records, he dropped a couple of singles. However, after a couple of months, the people weren't interested in anything Mystical related and had moved on to the next big thing in music. And in my opinion, this happened because Mystical did not keep his fan base fed while he was in prison. His fan base outgrew him, and I think Bobby Shmurda might be heading down the same path. Most of Bobby Shmurda's songs came out in 2014. That's a whole 3 years ago, so one can only wonder how the public will receive Bobby Shmurda's music when he comes out, especially after being away from the public eye for so long. Anyway guys, thanks for hanging out with your boy Brandon Cage. Do you guys feel like going to prison hurts a rapper's career, or does it still give them street credibility? Feel free to leave a comment below, and don't forget to subscribe for more content. Peace!